Now we look ahead to week 5. This is pretty much the quarter point of the season. We finally figured out who are the contenders and who are the pretenders, and we're about to go from quarter point to halfway point. This is the start of the quarter point. So it's going to be interesting to see who stamps their name into I'd say early postseason consideration. Who is legit, who is for real, all that stuff. I know week 3 doesn't really give us a clear idea, or even week 4, but week 5 may give us that very early idea. So that being said, week 5's theme is who are the real or fake playoff contenders this week. So we look at week 5, look at the games, and who do I personally pick are going to win these games. And we start off the week with Thursday Night Football on the last slate of games on Fox. They kick it off with the LA Rams traveling up to Seattle to face the Seahawks in the Seahawks' ugly-ass green lime uniforms. Bro, those don't look good at all. So anyway, the Hawks got a division win over the 49ers, as I mentioned countless times before. But they're now going to face what could be an angry Rams team coming off that bad loss to the Cardinals. Russell Wilson can do all the trickery he wants. He can get out of the sacks, evade the sacks. All he wants is oh shit, I dodged it. Oh shit, I'm cool. But the Hawks defense, it's still not good. They still give up way too many big plays, even against a Niners team that pretty much shot itself in the foot. They gave up some big plays early on, but still, this is a Seahawks defense that will give up big play after big play. Matthew Stafford and the Rams will outscore and out-hustle the home team. I'm going with the Rams on this one, on Thursday Night Football. Now we go into the Sunday morning early slate, and there is a very early-ass o'clock game on Sunday because the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons are going to the pond to play a game in London. Yes, after a year away, the NFL travels back to London for an international matchup that's happening at early-ass o'clock, 6:30 a.m. in the West Coast. I am not waking up for that at all. I don't care if it's on the NFL Network. I am not waking up at 6:30 a.m. to watch this game. So, while the Jets got their first win against an undermanned Titans team, I think experience will outlast skill, given they don't choke. But Matt Ryan and the Falcons will pull out this win over Zach Wilson and Gangrene. And both teams will head out into their bye, enjoying the London scenery. So, the New Orleans Saints travel to the nation's capital to face the Washington football team. Even with a 1-1 road trip record, Taylor Heinicke has been an unexpected blessing in disguise for Washington. He's been playing with precision, accuracy, and aggression. He's been really aggressive. Seriously, if you looked at his game against Atlanta, and he tried to get them back into the game against Buffalo, but Buffalo's just such a good team. But still, Taylor Heinicke has been playing pretty good football. And look for that to continue against a 50-50 Saints team. And perhaps maybe that supposedly scary Washington defense, will actually play scary in this game, all over Jameis Winston. So I'm actually going to go up on a limb here and pick the Washington football team to win this, because I think there's still some questions about Jameis Winston. Can he lead this team to victory? Can the defense hold on? Can they hold off Heinicke in this Washington offense that's been red hot all of a sudden? We'll see. But I'm going out on a limb here and picking Washington to win this. Now, as for the rest of the Sunday slate, the Denver Broncos travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Both teams are coming off really bad losses. And Pittsburgh has lost 3 straight since the opener in Buffalo. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game because we don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to clear concussion protocol in time to start, or it's going to be Drew Lock starting this game. And if Drew Lock starts this game, then I'm going with Pittsburgh on this. And if it's Teddy Bridgewater, then I'm probably going with Denver. But either way, I don't really have a clear winner here. But I do think that if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't clear concussion protocol in time, I'm not sure if he will, but in the event that he doesn't, I expect Pittsburgh to win this one. And again, if Bridgewater does clear it, then I'll go with Denver. It's too hard to pick when you don't know who's going to start for Denver. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a tough task ahead of them at home when they face the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be an interesting matchup between present and future as Aaron Rodgers faces Joe Burrow for the first time ever. The Bengals may not have enough defensively to stop Rodgers, but I don't expect Joe Burrow in the Bengals offense to sleep that quietly. Sure, Rodgers may have Devontae Adams, he may have Randall Cobb, he may have Robert Tonyan, but that's not stopping Joe Burrow from going balls to the walls in this game. So I still expect the Packers to win, but the Bengals aren't going to go down that quietly. And the New England Patriots travel to Houston to take on the Texans. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm going with the Patriots. Sorry. I don't have much else to say. The Miami Dolphins go to Tampa to take on the Bucs. This is a very bad spot for the Dolphins as they put a shitty offensive line up against a formidable Tampa front seven. So, yeah, if this was Tua Tagovailoa, like going up against Shaq Barrett, I forget Levante David, man, isn't Ndamukong Suh still there? I don't think he is, but I digress. This Tampa Bay front seven, and they were gonna face Tua Tagovailoa. Man, that would be like fresh meat for the Bucs front seven, and Tua Tagovailoa, it's like that's not gonna be fun for him. But since it's Jacoby Brissett, it's also not gonna be fun for him. So even against Tampa's suspect secondary, Miami is gonna be put away relatively quickly by Tom Brady and the Bucs. So obviously going with the Bucs. Now down in Carolina, the Carolina Panthers return home to host the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are coming off crushing losses to the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs, respectively. I think Sam Darnold has been making the most of his newfound opportunity down in Carolina, taking more aggressive chances and rushing more. So this is more of an indictment that it was the Jets fucking him over, and the Panthers, giving him more opportunities to actually succeed in an offense that, very supportive of him. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense have been showing flashes of potential, but I think the Panthers defense is just going to be too much to overcome, and Sam Darnold has just been playing balls to the walls lately. So the Panthers will bounce back from their bad loss to the Cowboys, more so than the Eagles. The Tennessee Titans continue their road trip down to AEW land as they take on the Jaguars in a AFC South division matchup. And the AFC South is once again looking like the division nobody wants to win because the Titans laid an egg in New York against the Jets. The Jaguars couldn't put it away. They couldn't pull out the win against Cincinnati against the Bengals. The Texans obviously suck. They're heading towards the number 1 overall draft pick in the 2022 draft. The Indianapolis Colts, I don't know if they're really going to contend. They're just way too inconsistent. So this is pretty much a division nobody wants to win. As regards to this matchup, Tennessee is getting close to assuring that the AFC South is a division nobody wants to win. So even so, I just expect them to handle a Jags team that's been having their own trust issues with Urban Meyer, their head coach. So yeah, we're going with the Titans. Now, down in Minnesota, there's another division matchup that they have in the Detroit Lions. The Lions obviously lined themselves in week 4 against Chicago. I already said so much about that, so I don't really need to say more. But that said, the Vikings can't take this matchup against the Lions pretty easily because they couldn't score against Cleveland. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't get anything going with Kirk Cousins. So why should we expect to easily moonwalk all for the Vikings? So both teams are going to fight hard to win this one. And I'll even go out on a limb here and say this is the week that the Lions upset the Vikings, unless they decide to Lions this game. So then we get to the afternoon slate of games. The Cleveland Browns travel to LA to face the Chargers. This is going to be a tough test for Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and the Browns defense. They're going to be going up against a really good, not just a Chargers offense, but a specifically good Chargers offensive line. So that Chargers offensive line is going to be really tested against a really good Browns front four. So it's going to be a good battle between the trenches. If the Browns want to win this game, Baker Mayfield's got to stop being a skid mark on the team that's trying to rid themselves of that term. He's got to keep this team competitive if he wants a chance at upsetting Justin Herbert at home. And Justin Herbert himself just at least got to keep the offense rolling. That's just the key to the game. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one. Now, the Raiders return home to Vegas to face the Chicago Bears in, another chance for Khalil Mack to have his revenge on the Raiders. The Raiders are entering this game, they've been hit by lightning in LA. Now they have to bounce back quick to keep up with the Chargers and the Chiefs in the division race. Meanwhile, the Bears just announced Justin Fields as their starter going forward. So this is going to be a test for him against a Raiders defense that didn't do a whole lot to pressure Justin Herbert on Monday night. Now keep in mind, the Chargers offensive line is much stronger than the Bears' offensive line. So Justin Fields is going to have to pick his spots. He's going to have to do what he can. He's going to have to prove himself against a pretty shoddy Raiders defense, but we'll see. Whether he does, I don't know. It's really hard to know, but I'll go with the Raiders. I don't know. So then we, down in the desert, the 49ers head out for another division matchup to face the Cardinals. It's still in the air whether Jimmy G or rookie Trey Lance starts. The calf injury that Jimmy G suffered in the Seahawks game has been updated to a game time decision. It's been I think it's re-evaluated at the time of this recording of the podcast. It's not as serious as once initially feared, but I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday, but we'll see. So either way, it's still not looking good for a Niners team that's still unsure of who's going to be quarterback, who's going to be under center. Trent Williams may not be available. Kicker Robbie Gould is out for at least a month. And they're going to be facing a red-hot Cardinals team that has a shit ton of firepower on offense and a defense that's slowly on the up and up. And I hate to do it, but I think the Cardinals are going to win this one. And the Niners are going to quickly fall into a deep hole in this division race. I hate to say that. So then, the New York Giants travel to the Big D to take on the Dallas Cowboys in a big NFC East matchup. They head into this one having been two NFC South rivals in Week 4. Daniel Jones had one of his best games along with Saquon Barkley against the Saints, while Dak Prescott lit it up against the Panthers along with Zeke Elliott against the Panthers' formidable defense. It's going to be a big test specifically for the Giants, especially because it'll be like the proving ground on whether Daniel Jones' big game against the Saints was a one-off or this was a real deal, that this Daniel Jones is much better than years past. So despite that, I'm going to roll with the Cowboys. They just have more talent overall. They have a better defense. Their offense is obviously marginally better than the Giants. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Then in the Sunday Night Football game of the week, the Buffalo Bills travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in a rematch of the AFC title game back in January, where the Chiefs blew out the Bills en route to being hammered themselves by the Bucs in the Super Bowl. So both teams are pretty much have started their season in opposite paths. The Bills won 3 straight after losing their opener to the Steelers. The Chiefs are at an even 2-2. They lost. They won their first game against the Browns. Then they lost 2 straight to the Ravens and the Chargers. Then they recently won their game against the Eagles. I do think this is going to be a tightly knit battle. But while I think Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce will be a tall task for the Bills defense, I do think that the Bills offense of Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, and Dawson Knox I think they're a bigger threat to the Chiefs secondary, which is very, very leaky. And that will be the deciding factor in the Bills exacting their revenge Sunday night. Yes, I am saying that the Bills are going to exact their revenge on Sunday Night Football over the Chiefs. So then in the Monday night closer, the Indianapolis Colts take on the Baltimore Ravens. The Colts got their first win of the season over the Tua Tagovailoa-less Miami Dolphins. But then again, you face the Dolphins in the Florida Heat, and you shouldn't be celebrating at all for that. So, that being said, you get to face Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in prime time as your reward. So, the Ravens may be having their own secondary problems, but keep in mind, the Colts barely can move the ball with Carson Wentz. So, Lamar Jackson has been pretty much doing it all again for this team, and still, other playmakers like tight end Mark Andrews have stepped up finally to ease off some of the pressure. And more guys, if they want to win this game against the Colts, they gotta step up too. Especially Butterfingers Marquise Brown. He's not Hollywood Brown anymore. He's Butterfingers Brown because he keeps dropping touchdowns after touchdown. Let's just call him Butterfingers Brown. And this should be the game that not just him, but pretty much all other players got to step up to do. So I'm going with the Ravens here to pretty much emphatically take down the Indianapolis Colts. And this is not an indictment on the Colts. Like, I think the Colts are a good team, but it's just like Carson Wentz is just too inconsistent. And it's just like he's just too scared. He plays scared. He doesn't want to run out of the pocket as much as he used to back in 2017. But anyway, those are my picks for Week 5 of the NFL season for 2021. What do you guys think? I honestly haven't kept track of my picks, how right or wrong I am. I just like to do it for fun. But it's good to preview and pick these games and as well as recap them. But let me know what you guys think about these Week 5 picks. However you can.